Today I'm going to show you how to take a Jerusalem Artichoke or any other plant that's definitely root bound and transplant it in a way that it'll get the best shot at going forward and recovering itself from being root bound. So first thing you're going to do is, so I am using BioThrive as the fertilizer. It calls for 2 ounces or 2 teaspoons per gallon of water, and I'm for normal and 4 ounces for extreme use. You can tell that the plant has not got enough nitrogen up until now because the soil absolutely was terrible, so the nutrients were not able to penetrate or just washed away. So I've collected 2 gallons of water in a food grade bucket. I've measured out 6 teaspoons of BioThrive, so it's halfway between normal and extreme. And what you do is you take 1 teaspoon of the Great White, the super micronized. This stuff is the water soluble stuff. So what you do is you take 1 teaspoon of this and 1 teaspoon of soluble seaweed extract, and then you take it all, dump it into the bucket with the 2 gallons. The reason why the water is already brown is because I've already mixed up some of the stuff in the past. And then you'll see the kelp, and then you'll see the mycorrhiza go into the bucket. Put that all in there. The kelp will definitely smell like a bunch of dead fish. And then you want to loosen the bucket to get the plant out of the bucket. Try to slide it out without any major damage to the roots. And then what I do to get a head start, you can see that it's, it's got some roots. It doesn't have any circling roots, so I'm not going to break any off, but if there were, you would want to break them off. And then what I'm going to do is mix the water up first. And you want to get the mycorrhiza and the kelp mixed up. That's why it turns this dark brown. The BioThrive is a vegan, organic liquid fertilizer that you can use. And once that's mixed up, you're going to take the plant and you're going to drop it right in the fertilizer. So you want to make sure you don't go too heavy in the fertilizer because there's a chance you could burn the roots. I did this with some really small tomato plants, and I cooked one of the plants. The rest of them got brown for a minute. But then they were fine. So I usually soak this for 2 or 3 minutes to totally inoculate the existing soil and the roots with the mycorrhiza and the fertilizer. So we'll check back with digging into the ground next. Okay, so what we're going to do next is so this is the new bed. This is 100% leaf compost from Southern Mulch. So we're going to plant eventually 8 Jerusalem artichokes in this bed, and each one will produce about 8 to 12 pounds of tubers. So we're going to give it about, a little bit more than, we're going to do a row of 3, a row of 2, and then a row of 3 to give it some room. So we're going to dig a hole here big enough for the plant. Now, the first thing I do after I dig the hole is, sometimes it's just easier to dig it by hand. Since we're using pure compost, we don't really have to, dig the hole twice as big as the actual plant. But then the first thing I do, even though we've already micronized, we've already added the mycorrhiza to the root system, I usually take this stuff. I've gone through about 10 bags of this stuff. This is organic mycorrhiza. You can get this at Lowe's. They don't seem to sell this at Home Depot. And I will add a little to the bottom of the hole. 1 bag is supposed to do 160 square feet. Mine does about 60, maybe 50. And then we're going to take the plant, grab it by the bottom. Don't ever grab it by the plant. It's still absolutely rock solid. You can see I had absolutely the wrong type of soil, so you can see it's just draining right off. It hopefully is penetrate as much root as it can. And then we're going to add a little more dirt back in there. We're going to drop this guy in there, get him a little bit below the ground, and then You know, try to get some more mycorrhiza on top. This is also a 3-4-4 fertilizer, but it's slow release, so I haven't burnt anything yet, but you may burn something. So you just want to be careful not to use too much, you know, follow the directions as much as you can. If you can listen to directions, these Jerusalem Artichokes are actually from John Kohler, so I probably follow directions just as well as he does, package directions. And then there we go. And then after this, I will actually take the rest of this water and I will actually take the plant and I will feed it with some more water from the fertilizer. So, and you let it soak in, and that's not enough water. I'll actually add some more water to it, and I'll actually soak this one in after I get the other 8 plants in place. This bed here was actually prepared with about 15 pounds of azomite, and about 5 pounds of accelerite. I mixed the two together, mixed them into the top 6 inches of soil. I added about 1/3 of this bag of the Job's organic vegetable mycorrhiza, mixed that in with the entire thing to colonize the soil, and then soaked it in, let it sit for 2 days so I can get going, and then I start planting stuff from there. And that's about it. This is another set of Jerusalem artichokes that were done the same way about 2 weeks ago. You can see that they're already turning dark green and starting to grow a lot better. These are the Jerusalem artichokes that have been fully planted. You can see that they're lime green, and we're hoping that they darken up.